Good evening, everybody. This is Mike Tedesco of Wrestleview.com.
And Victoria Tedesco.
Whoa. Okay, welcome to Wrestleview Post-Raw number 68. The Raw before the Royal Rumble. One of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. One of our favorite pay-per-views of the year all around. We got a lot to talk about tonight in Wichita. They gave us a really, really stacked show. Good ladder match. We had some new champions on the show tonight that we got to talk about. A couple of things. But yeah, I'm excited to be here this week. Let's say hello to everybody in the chat room with us tonight. We appreciate you all hanging out with us. Let's say hello to Nafis. Oh, hello.
Hey,
Nafis.
good job on the show yesterday, by the way.
Nafis Sadat was on Wrestleview Weekly with Mr. Doug Lackey yesterday, giving the Royal Rumble 2020 predictions. Doug's liver is in the hands of Nafis. Nafis did an excellent job.
Did an amazing job.
Really, really good job. Billy Hefner, our dear friend,
Hi,
our
Billy.
brother, is in the chat room tonight. Let's see. We got Andrew Elder.
Hi, Andrew.
Our good guy, good dear friend, Andrew Elder. Goosey's in the chat room tonight. Hey,
Hey.
yo. All right. Oh, yeah. Mashoon Walls in the chat
Hi,
room.
Mashoon.
Good evening, King Tedesco, Queen Tori, and Baby Tedesco. Oh, yes. Yes. I know that we have Quentin in the chat room tonight. I know we have Randy M there as well. And anybody else? Kit Dyson, I see. I'm just scrolling through the chat, seeing what we got. I'm sure more will pour in as we keep going. So, Andrew Elder says this is Crimbus for Doug's liver. Oh boy, yeah, this could be
The Rumble's like a hard one. It's always a hard
Rumble's
one.
tough.
You know, like I feel like no matter, I mean, for the most part, Doug's liver is always in jeopardy. But like Rumble is like
Doug's liver's in jeopardy just from the way Doug lives his life. Like, that's just a lifestyle choice.
I can't.
That liver's in jeopardy.
Oh,
but
stop it.
it's but he does put his feet to the fire on wrestling shows. So, you know, I'll be hosting Wrestleview Live this Sunday with Mr. Doug Lackey as well, which I'm very excited about. Our first this is a major show. Royal Rumble is a major show every year. I love covering Royal Rumble. I've covered it the last 2 years. My third Royal Rumble covering. Love it. I love it. It's you know, even when it's like a weak build, like everybody's saying this is a weak build to the Rumble, which I do agree with. There's a lot of people that are declared for the Rumble right now. I believe the men's Royal Rumble, going into today, I think it had 11 spots left, and they filled another 4 tonight with Seth Rollins, Buddy Murphy, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe. So that leaves 7 spots unclaimed. Not a lot of room for surprises.
I think for with this particular Rumble, I think the reason why is because it's not meant more for like the surprises, but more so like with Brock Lesnar being in it. That's like whatever they do with that, I feel like is going to be big in their mindset. That's why they're not doing like a whole lot of, because and listen, SmackDown hasn't even happened yet. There are looking more people who claim a spot then too.
Very true. That's right.
So it's like we're not even, you know, it could be even less than what we have tonight.
SmackDown being on Friday is just like I'm still not really used to it yet. I still can't believe that you and I are in the intro video for SmackDown. By the way, that's still pretty crazy.
I know. I wasn't wearing this shirt. I was like, was I wearing this? No, it was another.
No, you were in the Nikki Bella.
The other Nikki Bella one. Yeah. I know. And you know what's funny? Like how long did we not even notice it for? And then until people were like I know
it was Sandro that messaged me. I believe it was Sandro.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, look, you're in the SmackDown intro.
Wow. I remember when Total Divas happened, which was kind of like I kind of expected we might be on there, but like. I remember my friend, she texted me and goes, "You're on Total Divas." I go, "What?"
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I go, "What?"
I remember like Adam texted me when we were in some video package for Payback or something like that. I was like, wow. And then all of a sudden we were in the commercial for Great Balls of Fire. And I was like, hey.
You know what's funny? Like that day, I did not expect to be in so many things. I thought
they set up a camera. I mean, I was pretty wild at that WrestleMania. This was WrestleMania 34 down in, where was it, Orlando?
Yeah,
right?
Orlando.
And like I was losing my mind, especially when the Hardy Boys came out. I was just like going crazy, and we'll talk about the Hardy Boys tonight too, because
there's things to be discussed.
Things to talk about with Mr. Matt Hardy there. They found me somehow or they found us somehow in this crowd of people. There was 74,000 people there, easy, I would say, and they just set up a camera on a tripod and just were filming us for like 45 minutes. It was kind of creepy. I was like,
I have a theory of why they filmed us. Oh, you want me to say it now? I thought you were still speaking. I'm sorry.
I stopped speaking so you could speak.
No, I think the reason why is because that year was very like John Cena, Nikki Bella, Ms. Maurice, like the whole proposal and stuff. So the fact that I had the cap on and the shirt and like, I think they were like, oh, this is good for Total Divas. This is good for future stuff. I think we looked like we were a lively bunch, obviously, except for the people in front of us. Everybody,
oh my God.
The people behind us though, and like the people we were talking to, we made a lot of friends that day, despite the idiots in front of us. We made a lot of friends that day. So I think that particular crowd, except for the people at the very first or second row that they were in, they weren't very lively, but everybody else was lively. So they kind of sought us out and were like, oh, they look like a lively bunch. And she's wearing Nikki Bella gear and.
Right.
Okay. Yes. Why are you like not speaking now?
No. I was listening to you. I was listening to you talk. We're a lively bunch. Yeah. I was just reminiscing about those people in front of us.
Don't even tell the story because it's not.
It is so funny.
I know, but don't tell the story.
It is so funny. What a curmudgeon. What a dick. Like sometimes you go to a wrestling show and there's somebody that just doesn't want to be there. And they're just nasty the entire time. It's like, oh, sit down. Nobody stand up. I can't see. It's like, don't come to the show. Just watch it on TV, you moron, you idiot, fool. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going with this. With Oh yeah. So WrestleMania 34, we were just going crazy. And they set up the camera. It was yeah. Oh, by the way, I think the reason why they put the camera on you is like you were like one of very few presentable women at the event. Yeah, I think anybody who's been a wrestling show. It's like the people who play the mall Mrs. Clauses are coming to the show. Oh my God. It's pretty scary.
I was thinking, there was women, but it was like a lot of moms too. So it was, it's a lot of
mothers.
I was just like, woo, woo.
Which you are now part of the crew.
I am part of the crew.
You're the
so
mom
there's
crew.
gonna be no more camera now because now that I'm a mom.
Now that the camera will be on Liliana.
Do you remember that the Raw we went to when I was pregnant?
Yes.
And I was like this, and nobody cared. Nobody cared. None of the camera people were like, "Oh, look, the pregnant lady."
No one cared.
No one cared.
No one cared at all.
Nobody cared that I was like 8 months pregnant.
well, let's see. Let's talk about this show tonight, Victoria, because it was for the most part, I would say it was a pretty stacked show. It was a pretty damn stacked show. Heading into the show, we were advertised a ladder match with Rey Mysterio and Andrade for the United States Championship. They had advertised Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, but they advertised that a few hours before the show started, which I was, hey, cool, I'll take that match. Brock Lesnar appearance. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's the final Raw before the Royal Rumble. And, of course, Rusev and Liv Morgan versus Bobby Lashley and Lana. Those were all advertised ahead of time. Most of them delivered. Not all of them.
Not all.
Certainly not all of them. I would say 2 out of 4 in this case, but we'll talk about it. So Raw kicks off. We got Seth Rollins, AOP, Buddy Murphy coming to the ring. They're really pushing, the religious symbolism with Seth Rollins, talking about the Messiah and how he has a new disciple. Yeah. And that, it's the people that made him the way he is, and he thanks them. He's a forgiving person. He's all this and that, But I like, it's like I like the storyline. I do. And I understand, and I'm prefacing this right now with just saying that I understand that it's new and he's feeling his way out there, with this new character, giving himself a new edge, kind of becoming like a weird kind of pseudo Jesus kind of character. But man, the same problems that I think everybody harps on with Seth Rollins, promo delivery, just the promos in general. This, again, to me, it sounded like he was just trying to remember lines. Again, a lot of verbiage that just isn't used in natural language, so automatically it's like, okay, I'm watching a guy cut a promo, and it's okay, but there's, like, who talks this way? It's kind of like, you can watch it and you can get through it, but your brain knows that something's off. Your brain just knows. It's unable to suspend the disbelief that, this guy is cutting this promo. He's not doing anything more than just reading lines or memorizing lines and reciting them. That's what it sounded like to me tonight.
Okay, interesting, because I have a different take on it.
Okay.
I personally find this to be more comfortable for him. Obviously, he's more comfortable as a heel. There's no doubt about it. But I didn't get that same feel. I feel like even though it's a Seth Rollins, like, I guess standard you would say, but at the same time, though, I truly don't think this was the same old boring thing. I actually think it was, even though it's maybe not particularly like, even though it's like new and he's feeling his oats a little bit and trying to figure out like what's going on, I still think that he's a lot more comfortable. And to me, it's just, I don't see him just reading lines. I think he's getting into it, and I actually genuinely like what's going on. And I have to say I disagree.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like I said, it wasn't bad. It's just the promo delivery and the way they write his promos for him it just makes you cringe. I don't know. I
didn't
can't
get cringe. To me, it wasn't cringeworthy.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I feel like, it was very much cringeworthy, him as a face.
Oh, him
and
as
like
a face
it was because he really had a hard time delivering.
Now that we can do the post-mortem on his face run, it was for the most part, unless he was facing Brock Lesnar, it was a disaster.
Yeah, because he's not. Again, he was type of person.
He had a lot of momentum, and he did a lot to derail himself. He really did. The Will Ospreay tweets, he didn't have to speak out against Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose, but he did. He's a company guy. He really carried the company flag sometimes to it's like, all right, dude.
To his own, yeah.
Are you human, or like, what are you? It was disastrous. But like, they gave him a lot of bad storylines too. A lot of bad, just not a lot of good opponents for him. The thing was just a disaster. So now at least this is getting off on the right foot. My critique is they need to just lighten up on using the thesaurus feature on Microsoft Word when they're writing these damn scripts.
I will agree with you. We found the same problem with Ronda Rousey at the time.
Oh, Ronda Rousey.
It was, she like that girl had, unfortunately, every word that you would not use everyday language at all. Like, and
I forget, there was a couple promos that were just so
there were actually
bad.
There were many, and it was like, really, you're not gonna get this badass Ronda Rousey saying that stuff. And yes, to your point too, certain things, yes, Rollins, I'm sure, not in his everyday vocabulary, but I think the verbiage in this particular storyline works, because when you're like the so-called Messiah, you have a certain way that you are talking, as opposed to how you would speak on your, like, he's not just Seth Rollins anymore. He's this Messiah. He's this leader. He's this, one that you admire, right. Like this boastful individual, this, whatever. You're not looking to him to say everyday whatever. So I think that in this particular case, I think it works for him.
You know what? I'll concede that. I'll give you that. So Kevin Owens comes out, interrupts Seth Rollins. He comes out on the stage with Samoa Joe. They challenge Rollins and AOP to a fight. They said, well, yeah, we'll talk about a fight, but, not here, not right now. We'll talk about it. And Owens, basically says, Owens and Joe say that, or Samoa Joe says, do my eyes deceive me? Am I seeing the self-proclaimed Messiah of Monday Night Raw? But what I hear is a lawyered up asshat. And the phrase asshat in Wichita got over so much.
It really did.
It got over so big.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd, and I'm granted, I just got done saying I didn't like his delivery, but I do see where you're coming from. The crowd was into it. They were booing him. They were booing him. They were really into Rollins. They were really into Owens and Samoa Joe. They love the asshat comment. So Seth Rollins says, okay, well, if you're so intent on coming down and, getting beat up by us, be my guest. And he goes, well, on top of being an asshat, your listening skills aren't that good either. We're not the only ones that are ready to fight you. That brings out Raw Tag Team Champions, the Viking Raiders. They all run down to the ring. Big brawl. Seth Rollins bails out of the ring immediately. Owens hits a stunner. Samoa Joe hits a one-arm slam. They stand tall in the ring with the Viking Raiders. I thought it was a really good segment.
I thought it was too.
At the end of the day, even though, it sounds like he's remembering a script to me and all that stuff, this was still a really good segment. Got the show started off right. The crowd was on fire. The timing was right. Again, not super long, short, quick, to the point, and effective. And the only thing I have to nitpick, and this is just a general. This is not nitpicking.
This is not like when I say this is not just particular case to only this segment, but to a lot of segments. When somebody is speaking, so Rollins, AOP, Buddy Murphy, they're all out there, right? They're talking, and then all of a sudden the music hits. You see Owens, you see Samoa Joe come out. I would like to freshen up a little bit because this is so, to me, because again, we're talking about natural, organic, everyday stuff, right? So the one thing that I would have to say is why can't somebody, if I were a writer, I would be like, okay, Seth, I want you to continue to try to talk even though those people are coming out onto the ramp and trying to speak. If I were Rollins, I'd be like, well, I'm not, hey, wait a minute, don't interrupt me. I'm still talking. And then continue to talk to the crowd and disregard their presence or whatever. I just want to see more of that. I want to see more of I'm just going to sit and wait while this guy interrupts me. Well, that's not going to happen.
That's been the critique for years, the your turn, my turn promo.
Right. And I think
it's not natural.
It's not natural at all.
It's just okay, I'm going to wait my turn and waiting for my cue, wait for my cue. Oh, here it goes.
Right.
It's
right. So again, this is not one of those where completely you're sitting there oh my God, this is so whatever. But at the same time,
it's like they can record them and just play the videos playing,
Right. It's just a general.
There's no point in
this
them
is an
being
overall
live.
Nitpick. They're not particular to this one, but again, if you had a Rollins just be like, okay, anyways, and then just continue to speak, and then they're trying to interrupt him and whatever.
Right.
I think that's more effective in the sense too, as even if they just came out and attacked them. I just want to see something fresh like that. But again, we're not going to get that because
it's every week.
The formula.
It's every week there's a promo in the ring. 52 weeks a year.
Yeah.
Someone's getting interrupted every single time. They never finish their line. They always wait. It's if we're going to have to watch this 52 times just on Raw, let alone on SmackDown, for God's sakes, just 100. So that's 104 times. And if you count NXT every now and then, so let's say we add another 25 onto that. So now we have 129 shows that we have to watch where somebody gets interrupted.
Can't they do one thing differently? It's
can we switch it up a little bit?
Just a tiny bit.
It always happens.
Always. I was rewatching this week because I was bored. Not really bored because I have a lot going on. But I happen to be watching the Miz and Maurice and Nikki Bella, John Cena. I don't know why. I just started watching those segments on YouTube. But I watched the one in particular where John Cena is literally going at Maurice and Miz, and they're just standing there. I'm like, but that doesn't happen.
I remember
that.
He really demolished them too.
He completely demolished it. And he's like, "What are you doing here? Why are you even here?" And then he's like, "Oh, you're firing blanks there." He's just supposed to just take it. Nobody does that. If anybody,
it's not their turn to talk.
Right. So to me, it's I just want to see some. A tiny bit of variety with it. But again, we're not going to get it, so I don't even know why I'm bothered talking about it. Sorry, everyone.
I don't know.
I bet no one was expecting that tonight, like that little nitpick.
I liken the current product that we're living through right now to be like the Star Wars prequels or something like that. It's just devoid of any humanity, missing all the magic that made wrestling so great, and the original Star Wars trilogy so great. You know, it was like the prequels missing that. Today's wrestling is missing a lot of that as well. Part of it is just, I was really thinking about it today because I was pretty bored at our all-day professional development at school today, and I was sitting there and I was just like, why? It's like we've been wanting for the longest time there to be some variety in wrestling, and right now the variety in wrestling is better than it's been since WCW closed. There are destinations for people to go.
Yeah.
A lot of companies that have a lot of good things going for them. Right off the bat, I think of NWA. I think of AEW. You got NXT is a great Wednesday night destination as well. But for whatever reason, it's just not catching on. You know why? It's because people don't know how to like really. It's like it's gotten away from things that you can suspend your disbelief on, and more just like this kind of like just watching guys on a trampoline doing an acrobatic performance. I know what you mean. I know what you're saying, because we said this last week about art
how
of working in WWE, in AEW, in NXT. NWA, really, actually, they do a lot of things right. I can't say that the art of working is dead in the NWA, but everywhere else, the art of working a match and saving stuff, for bigger events, and it's gone.
I think there's this,
and that's why we have all this variety. And it's like watching the same thing. Everybody does a suicide dive. Everybody does a dive over the top rope. Everybody hits a million finishers and kicks out of them. It's really
same,
it's AEW is the same as WWE.
It's the conflict of you want it to be different, but you also want it to be back. You want them to go back to the basics.
I so desperately want them to go back to the basics. Right now, I'm recapping old WrestleManias right now. Like I talked about what what I was doing last week, and there's the feature. All of the recaps are gonna be coming out intermittently over the next couple of weeks after the Royal Rumble. I'm watching these shows, and granted, the ones in the 80s, they kind of stink, whatever, like the wrestling, obviously that wasn't the main attraction, but I was watching, and it's like everybody came from a different territory. They learned they picked up different things along the way. They learned from different people. Now it's just like you can just get picked up, right from college, if you're a college athlete by WWE, and they'll just teach you their system. You don't have to learn anything. There's no getting seasoned wrestling around the world. There's no going to Mexico. There's no going to Europe. There's no going to Japan. There's no going to South Africa. There's no going to Canada. You just go right to WWE and learn their style. And the more they do that, I don't know if it'll ever get back to. I don't know if there will ever be. I don't know. Like Chris Jericho is really the last guy standing still that wrestles consistently, that's been around the world and has done it in many places.
I don't. You know why I'll never
and learn from some of the best.
It's there's too much money involved, and the whole dynamic of wrestling itself has changed, so it's not going to go back, unfortunately. But you just hope that that they do provide enough variety, that they are trying to do, that it kind of is stable, and then it's better than. I mean, there's a lot of shows over the years, as much as things that aren't right. There's a lot of things that they have done right. There's things that have kept your interest and things that you really enjoy, looking forward to and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's just maintain. I think it's always the problem is maintaining it. Right. It's short little increments of we get this, you get really excited, you're proud to be a wrestling fan, and then it's stuff that you're not, and you go through these really long periods of time where you're like, oh really, come on. On the same show, they hot shotted and it was a wonderful ladder match. They didn't need to be on Raw. No, they definitely, it had a place in the Royal Rumble. You could definitely do a ladder match on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. But they put Rey Mysterio and Andrade in a ladder match on Raw, and on that very same Raw, we got Rusev and Lana
and Bobby Lashley and Liv Morgan in the main event. It's
yeah, exactly, because of the main event. It's like
it's just like how are like
maintaining.
Yeah, they can't anymore. Randy M asks, how hard was it to go from recapping Wrestle Kingdom 14 to Raw? You know what? It's a discernible difference. I'll tell you that. But you know, like I just know that they're just so different that it really wasn't that bad. It wasn't like, oh God, I went from watching this great wrestling to Raw. Like I think the Raw that week, it helped that it was a good show too. I mean, if it was like a miserable show, I'd be like, yeah, it was tough, but yeah. Andrew Elder says the worst thing was the death of the territories. Seriously, I agree. Territories couldn't exist today anyway, but the lack of places for people to go and hone the art of professional wrestling is a big deal. There's a lot of guys that just they go to a wrestling school and they learn a few holds, and then they can jump, you know, off the ropes and do a million flips, and that's all they think they need to do. There's nobody that knows how to, like, honestly, it's hard to find people to put a competent match together. You go on the indie, you know, you go see an indie wrestling show, you're not going to see any matches that are like really worth watching anywhere. You know, you got to go to like the companies. You'll find some, but most of them are just doing the flips. They're just doing the flips. Like Baron Corbin put out a tweet when the Fatal 4-Way tag match was going on AEW Dynamite. Yeah, and Baron Corbin, of course, just trolling because that's what he does. He's a really good heel. He's a really, really good heel. He was trolling the AEW people, and they fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Brian Alvarez lost his fucking mind, and he's like, oh, well, NXT would have done 700,001, but Baron Corbin was watching AEW Dynamite. It's like, Brian, I think it's time for you to take a break from recapping wrestling. I think it's time. You are so bitter towards everything. It's time.
No.
But Brian worked himself into a frenzy.
Real quick before you finish. I am declaring tonight I'm going to have a whole podcast dedicated to how Brian Alvarez needs to take a break. That's for another evening.
Oh, God.
Okay.
That guy.
So stay tuned, Wrestleview.
It's such a tired
Stay
shtick.
tuned, because I'm going to do that.
It's such a tired shtick.
Continue. I'll have you be my guest on the show.
Yeah. And I forget where I was going with all of it, but.
No, you're saying Brian Alvarez, like Baron Corbin got under
his
skin.
So, but there was some validity to what Baron Corbin was saying. I watched the match myself. It was definitely a spectacle. But how can you digest all of that stuff? It's just a bunch of guys doing fucking flips after a while. Who gives a shit? I'd rather cool. You see it once.
Whoa.
I don't need to watch it for 2 hours.
Why are you screaming?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, and that's just one example. Like, you know, it's the same thing on NXT. Like I enjoy recapping NXT, and they do put on some good matches, but every now and then it's like there's one that's like, well, Jesus Christ, how many fucking finishers are you gonna kick out of? Well, why even have a finisher? Why even have a finisher? Like I watched the NXT UK Takeover show last Sunday. Guy hits a Razor's Edge crucifix powerbomb over the top rope onto some douchebag stagehand. Gets thrown into the ring, he kicks out of that, and then he gets DDT'd, and that's the finish. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What was the point of the power bomb?
I don't know.
Over the top, there was no fucking
Why
reason.
are you asking me? I don't know.
It's just dumb.
I don't know.
Sometimes I watch wrestling. I'm like, what? Everybody's forgotten how to work.
I don't know though.
You know, I mean, even Chris Jericho is going on his podcast and saying half the guys on AEW don't know how to work. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
and then everybody gets in a tizzy because Baron Corbin said it. Chris Jericho, the world champion, says that these guys can't work. He called out the Lucha Brothers by name. Said these guys are lazy. They don't even tag in. They make our product look like shit.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Okay, I get it. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not sounding like Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette's just bitter just because it's not the old school wrestling. I'm just saying, you know, like the art of working has gone. You know, a lot of people I know. There's a lot of people that are AEW fans. Look, I like AEW. I want them to succeed, and I'm not just poking at AEW. I'm poking at all wrestling companies. But just because AEW exists and you want to will it into success doesn't mean that everything that they do is great.
The whole point is whatever show you're into, there's work that needs to be done. There's this lack of back to the basics that we were talking about just now. And there needs to be some organic quality in these promos, these segments, and everything else. It needs to have a classic vintage wrestling feel along with some authenticity as well. Yeah. That's the whole point that we're trying to make. So, moving on.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. How do we even get in on this?
I started it because I said about how I wish with promos and segments that there, it's not just this back and forth. Like, you wait for your turn to speak. Yeah, and all I said was a suggestion.
Now I remember.
So, moving on.
Anyway, got off on a little bit of a tangent there. We got the ladder match. That's the first match on the show. Is the ladder match with Rey Mysterio and Andrade.
Amazing.
I thought it was a very good ladder match. Both guys took an absolute beating in this match.
Yeah.
Andrade was the one who was taking the brunt of it.
Yeah, he was.
But there was one spot where Mysterio grabbed the U.S. title and Andrade moves the ladder, so he's dangling over the ring. Andrade tries to catch the ankles because they're going to do a spot. Mysterio drops off the title, lands on his shoulders, and goes for Hurricanrana, but something got mistimed, and Rey Mysterio basically fell however many feet that is. It's probably about, I would say probably about 12 feet, right?
I guess, yeah.
Maybe,
I'm not
maybe a little more.
more.
Basically fell 12 feet and got powerbombed on his upper shoulders, trying to do a Hurricanrana.
Man.
That was a scary, scary moment. And you could tell Mysterio got up, and he was a little disoriented there.
Scary. The two of them, though, are just incredible together. I love seeing a classic like that. Their styles mesh so well, and it's nice to see like individuals who have similar styles in their matches work together. Like they really understand each other. They really know how to sell each other's moves, and I think overall, like, great. And normally, believe it or not, I'm not into ladder matches. I'm just not.
Really?
Only because of, again, I'm on this weird kick tonight about, like, authenticity. Like,
we were talking about this.
The only reason why, and again, because this one was just so entertaining and over the top. Okay, we're not sponsoring Pure Leaf iced tea, so
everybody wants to know what I'm drinking. It's Pure Leaf iced tea, the best iced tea on the planet.
We're not sponsoring it.
It's the best iced tea on the planet.
Now we need an endorsement.
Yeah, throw some money.
Oh my gosh. No, so the only thing, like I said, the reason why I normally don't like a ladder match is because I feel like it's only good if you have like that third person in there, because again, like if somebody's on the ground and there's something at the top or you're looking to get, like, why are you going to waste your time beating that individual up when that thing's up there? Again, I don't think in this particular case tonight, it's one of those things where this is such a good match that you forget about it. But that's overall my problems with the ladder match, just in general. But this one was just incredible because I love these two together.
Yeah.
And I like the way that Zelina Vega brought herself in by going off, getting on top of the ladder and everything. Really good way of interference.
Her reactions were great.
Amazing.
By the way.
Amazing. She's phenomenal.
I don't know if it's going to be in here on this
the GIF website?
This GIF right here of Andrade taking a Hurricanrana off the top rope onto the ladder. But her reaction to this was incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Are they going to show it? Yeah, there it is. There it is. Phenomenal. Just the look of pure horror on her face.
Love it.
But look at how Andrade landed on this. This was early on in the match. Just grazed it with his upper body. That is a very, very dangerous landing right there. I don't think people appreciate that enough.
Yes.
When they do these ladder matches sometimes, like, just how the littlest thing, one wrong bump could be life-changing. Think about like Shawn Michaels getting backdropped over the top rope and he grazed the casket with, his butt, broke his back and was out for 4 years.
Exactly. This,
like that landing reminded me a lot of the landing that Rick Rude took that ended his career, where he landed on, basically they have like a platform.
Yeah.
And Sting hit him with a suicide dive essentially or whatever, and he landed, and there was this big open space.
Okay.
There's a spine right there and just snapped.
Damn.
Really
no,
tough.
That's why it's
really tough.
You know, I always
reminded me of that,
and that's why I get angry
Scary.
sometimes when people are like, "Oh, it's not real. Why do you watch it?" It's like, okay, yeah, it's scripted in itself, but these individuals are putting their bodies in so much, like they're doing so much with their bodies, and the risk of injury every time they go out there is just incredible. So the fact, and they get real life injuries. None of this stuff is, you know, nobody can just be a wrestler. So for these two tonight, like this is my favorite part of the whole show, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like we can complain about like, you know, like when they set up the ladder bridge, I said, you know, it's going to be a cool spot. I go, but if you really just sit and think about it, what is the point of making this ladder bridge other than just to fall on eventually? You know, and we come back from the break and there's 2 ladder bridges set up.
Right.
People getting slammed through ladders, DDT'd through ladders. Like, what's the? It's still, but you know what? Like, I can nitpick those things and say like, oh, why do that? Why do that? You know, it doesn't, like, who would actually do that in a real fight or whatever? It's like, but you know what? They're putting their bodies on the line. It's for entertainment. It's a lot of fun.
And for these two,
it's
a good
fine.
Match. And that's
these
exactly
two
it.
can always go.
Of course. And that's why in this particular case, like I said, I'm normally not into ladder matches for that reason. But this in particular tonight was just so good that like you forget about that stuff.
Right.
So
and I'm almost like questioning myself. I'm like, was it good because they just almost died multiple times? Like, is that it?
No, but that's like with anything else, though. It's like this risk of like looking at somebody like they're so close to like hurting themselves and whatever. It's like
I know. Yeah. And it's different. And this one's different than what I was talking about with like, you know, NXT and, you know, the AEW matches I was talking about before, where it's like, you know, million things happening. It's like there at least was some things like put together to try to make this like a competently built match.
Oh, 100%.
It wasn't just like there was a few throwaway spots, but it wasn't just spots just for the sake of spots.
No,
like
everything
there
had a purpose.
Purposes to everything.
Yeah, like you just mentioned before about how it's really hard to find people who are like compatible and competent with each other. These two individuals.
Rey Mysterio is one of the best of all time.
Yeah, but these two complement each other so well, and that's why it's really, really hard. It's like actually they're doing a disservice to everybody else because they're so good. It's like you can't really compare to them in that sense.
I know.
You know, when you have that type of chemistry, it's really hard to top that. But I like how they started off, like that was the first match of the night. That was very, very smart on their part.
It was, and I know why they did it, because obviously, you know, third hour is the least watched hour every night, so like you can't have traditional main events anymore. Might as well, and that first hour is the most watched, so might as well just put the things that are really important that you want everybody to see in the first hour going into the second hour, because everybody starts to trail off in the second hour. That's why around 9:30 the show just dies usually, because they know that people aren't watching anymore, which begs the question: do we really need that extra hour? No, of course we don't. Of course we don't. But so yeah, they put it first. The really good thing about this was the Umberto Carrillo return. I thought it was well done.
That was well done. That was very well done. I mean, you knew who it was, but it was still well done.
Of course, but they had done a good job. They've been name dropping him a couple times, every week or so. He got DDT'd on the Raw before Christmas. We haven't seen him since, so it's been a month.
Yeah,
and he had no momentum then, none, and it seemed like, well, this is one of those like pet projects that Vince McMahon had, and he's done with him, but. For whatever reason, it seems like Paul Heyman has a thing for him. He sees a lot of potential in him. I see, obviously, you can see potential. I mean, he's a great worker. Yeah. Obviously, the promos will need some help, but they did a thing. Let's take him off television. We've beat him. We've stopped him. Like this is not a good start for him. Let's just take him off TV for a month. do an injury angle, and have him return, in a big spot. This was a big spot. The crowd cheered for him.
Yeah.
They got in a little brawl, him and Andrade, and then Andrade kind of walked off, and that was the end of that. Good return. Old school. That's how you do it. You want to get a guy some sympathy, have him do a little injury angle, take him off TV for a little bit, and bring him back. Right. I thought it worked really well.
I think it did well too.
So we'll see what happens.
Icing on the cake for that one.
Yeah. Nafis, we are on the same wavelength.
I love Nafis.
He goes, I almost thought that was Dominic. And what did I say? I go,
oh my God, you did. You literally were like, oh, it's Dominic. Like, you really said that.
I was like, oh my God, is it going to be Dominic? I was like, oh, no, it's Carrillo. Of course. Yeah. Who else would it be? Yeah. Excellent.
No, you were right.
Either way, it'd be awesome. But yeah, I almost did. I was thinking Dominic earlier tonight. I definitely was. Sasha Banks in the chat room tonight. I watched WWE
Sasha.
all the time. Good.
Hi, Sasha.
I feel bad if you watch it all the time.
No, I like Sasha Banks. This Sasha Banks in the chat, not actual
chat. Yeah. So good. Yes. So yeah, it was good stuff with Carrillo. I liked it. Let's see. They did an excellent video. Normally I don't talk about the video packages, but the video package for Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Oh, that was great.
Excellent. Gave me some chills. Aleister Black versus a local talent. Didn't even get a name. The guy was pinned in like 7 seconds with the black mass. They're doing their best to put Aleister Black over.
Yeah.
And they're doing a good job. Yeah. It's like I don't know if people know how to feel about him yet.
I think people are feeling him out. Yeah, I think they are.
They're still feeling him out because it's like, I don't know, like it's almost like the guy comes out, it's like coffins and candles and this and that. It's like, this feels like a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't smile. He doesn't do anything. It's like, well, why should I cheer him?
Right.
But why should I boo him as well?
Right.
So he kind of gets that in between, that dangerous in between reception.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know how to feel about you, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. No, I have to agree with that. And for me, it's like I really enjoy him. I just like him in general.
I've never seen a guy who has better strikes.
When he came in from that night, the NXT, and I mentioned this before, but when he came in that night when they were doing the NXT call-ups and they were bringing about 4 people up, I liked him out of everybody that they brought up that night in particular. I see something in him, and I just hope that, like whatever it is, they figure it out with him so he can progress nicely and he does have like a nice career going for himself, that he makes a name for himself, that, we establish more with his character, because technically wise, like in the ring, he's phenomenal. So just want to hone in on that character more, so that way people could perceive him as like a top, like eventually as a top contender.
Yeah. I think they need to establish more character for him. I mean, it's like, all they know about him is that, he's a guy who wants you to knock on his door and all that stuff. I don't know why you need to share that.
Yeah, like normally we frown upon that. You shouldn't be just around.
he comes out, kicks the shit out of somebody, and then sits cross-legged in the ring and just stares coldly at the crowd. Woohoo! Let the party begin! It's Aleister Black, everybody.
Let me just
let's go.
The creepy man who sits on the floor and comes out of from under the ground.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, they gave him a cool win tonight. I put, it was definitely quicker than King Kong Bundy and SD Jones. It was a very fast match. By the way, that was not 8 seconds. It was 17. I don't know why they always said that. It's like so obvious it was. But no one was watching video replays at the time. It was like, you didn't get like a VHS. And
it was like an exaggerated. Yeah, exactly.
Just like, well, goddamn, that's what they said. It was 8 seconds. It must be 8 seconds.
Right.
Man. I'm going to write it down. That's a record.
And then when you say it, like you think it automatically.
You say it all the time.
You say it. That's it. You like when you just keep saying it, you convince people it actually was.
Do we have a little girl up?
We do.
Does she want to say hi to everybody real quick?
Let's see.
Does everybody want to say hi to Liliana real quick? Oh,
she just face plants into me. Hey.
There she is. Say hi to everybody.
Can you see her?
Yeah, you can see her perfectly. You want to say something?
You want to say hi? No. Not into it.
She's not feeling it.
No sell. She's perfect for WWE.
well, Liliana, Quentin says hi.
Oh, you do.
Hi, Princess Tedesco.
Princess.
You smile? You gave us a smile? Billy says hi. Uncle Billy says hi. You want to say hi?
You want to say hi?
Come on.
She just wants to headbutt me.
That's it. Andrew Elder, the Wrestleview baby Yoda.
Yes.
She's the Brock Lesnar of Wrestleview.
Yes, she's little baby Yoda.
And Goosey says if she burped right now, he would laugh.
Oh my gosh.
Nuffy says hi, Liliana. Goosey says she's the best. Oh, thank you, Goosey. Randy M. Oh, hi. Oh my God, she's perfect.
Yes,
thank you.
Perfect.
We try to do good work.
You do perfect.
She's a good little kid. She's a good little kid.
How does she get so pretty? I don't understand.
She's the best.
What's the matter?
Mashoon, hi, baby Tedesco.
Don't cry. Don't cry. It's okay.
It's okay, Bubba.
You're okay.
It's okay, Bubba.
You're only on live air.
Hi, pretty girl.
You're only live on YouTube.
Hi, pretty girl.
You're only live. Yes, you are.
Hi, Bubba. Hi, sweetheart. You want to get a smile? Let me see a smile. No? Okay.
No, she hates
We'll get her later.
She hates us.
We'll get her later. But she popped in to say hello. Tell you a little bit about the little girl in a little while.
She just pulled my hair. She really has a career in wrestling, I'm telling you now.
She definitely does. She's
gonna kick someone's butt.
All right. We got Brock Lesnar in the ring. So essentially what this was every single Paul Heyman promo that you've heard for the last 3 weeks. No one's worthy to face him. He's in the Royal Rumble. He's entering number 1. That's it. That was the whole promo. It was good.
No, it was good. It was good. I didn't mind that. I wasn't to that, by the way. I love Paul Heyman, so I can't say much on that. But Ricochet coming out, you want to talk about somebody who's just reading lines. My goodness. I mean, he came out tonight and was just like, Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry. It was just not good. Like, I did not find him the least bit intimidating at all. Like, I'm so happy that, like, Brock Lesnar just did what he did and just, like, tossed him to the ground and, like,
Ricochet you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I didn't even get to Ricochet coming out yet.
No, I'm saying I enjoyed Heyman and Lesnar. Like,
yeah,
I always liked them.
It's a solid promo.
Yeah.
You're not going to have anything wrong with it.
No, always going to have, like, no matter what, like, Heyman knows how to talk. Lesnar knows how to, stand there and be, like, intimidating.
Yeah. But
Ricochet coming out, oh, my God. I said, talk about a guy who reads. No wonder why you were confused, because Heyman knows how to, obviously, whatever. But
see, like, that's the shit. It's like, what is the point of Ricochet being on Raw anymore? Daniel Shell's got it right. Send him to NXT.
Yes,
like
he would be perfect for NXT.
He just has no place on Raw.
No,
I think.
I like Ricochet.
I think Ricochet and Andrade could probably have a really good U.S. title match, but Ricochet's just spinning his tires up on the main roster. He's not really doing much, and tonight he moved into the most dangerous place you could be as a face, and that's not against Brock Lesnar. It's when you move into I'm a stupid fucking face territory. I have no idea how to be fucking how to fight. I just lose all the time. I have no friends. Nobody backs me up. I just say stupid shit that I can't possibly back up, and then guess what? I lose. I'm a dumb face. Like me.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You talked about how Rollins always comes out and has these scripted whatever, and like, you want to talk about verbiage in his promos. This was just like, hi, I'm Ricochet. I'm going to come out here tonight and I'm going to...
Brock laughed at him.
I mean, that's what
it's one thing to laugh at R-Truth.
But R-Truth's meant to be funny. Like that,
right.
And
R-Truth's meant to be a joke. Ricochet most certainly is not a joke. Yes, they talk about him as if he's a joke. Oh, he's a real-life superhero. Ha, ha, ha! You're a joke, you loser. You're not a real-life superhero. That's not true. There's no such thing.
No, but like... I mean, come on. For Ricochet to come out there and actually, like, supposedly be like a threat and be like, I'm not scared of you, Brock Lesnar.
F5 him. At least R-Truth got the courtesy of being F5.
Yes, he got kneed.
Nothing. He got kicked in the ball.
That's what I'm saying.
That was it.
I mean, that really was just like.
He kicked him in the butt. He probably like that.
All right, we're not going there. But
he's got that finger thing.
Stop it.
But by the way, Quentin Walter says his name is Richard O'Shea. Rick O'Shea.
Is it really?
No. Because they call him Rick O'Shea.
Oh.
So now it's Richard O'Shea.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Robert
Wilson.
Andrew Elder. Remember when Superman got hit in the balls? Yeah, me either. So true.
Andrew Elder. That's so perfect. True. That's so true.
Yeah, no, he's not a superhero.
That's why we have the best chat of all time.
This chat,
Everyone's
our chat
just amazing.
Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. I love this.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
No, I didn't know I couldn't read your face at first. I thought you were like
the chops. And Randy Orton's reaction to the chops. When he got chopped, and he just goes like this. He goes, and then he got chopped again, and then when McIntyre sends him to the corner, he runs to the corner. He goes and then he pops out of the corner and hits a clothesline, like he's still rubbing his chest as he's being Irish whipped to the corner.
Oh my gosh,
so good. Nothing else to say there. Like McIntyre took out the timekeeper with a Claymore kick. I guess that was the big highlight. The OC
so good
interfered, caused a DQ. Just a lot of fun. I thought it was hard-hitting action with them.
Hard-hitting.
Like, Randy Orton looks like he's really trying hard lately.
Maybe it was like a pep in his step or something.
He's got a pep in his step.
Yeah,
after re-signing that big fat deal. Now he's like, well,
guess I better
give them their money's worth. So I'll take a couple hard shots for a few more years.
Well, I think too. Well, I also think too with Randy Orton, which I don't blame him in this sense. I think Randy Orton sometimes his mentality is, and I'm talking as if I know him, but I get a vibe from him though, from Randall, that I get a vibe from him that like he wants he doesn't want to be doing like stupid little like squash stuff and like things like that. He genuinely wants to, if he's going to put all of it into it, he really wants to have somebody who's like a worthy competitor. And I think that obviously he considers Drew McIntyre somebody who like they're on the same playing field and that they're both really good and whatever. I don't think Randy Orton I don't think he's a particular type that he likes to like have like a squash match or whatever. I think he likes to wrestle with a purpose. I don't think he likes to just do throwaway matches for
I think what he's doing right now is I'm trying to think how to, so he teased when he was trying to sign this contract, he was teasing AEW. He was teasing he's going to go to AEW and all that stuff. And when he eventually re-signed with WWE, obviously he was using AEW just for leverage and all that stuff. It was like, oh, well, who cares anyway? Randy Orton's a diminished wrestler. There's a lot of talk about his work and this and that. I think he's out to prove, you know what? I'm still a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's trying to show right now.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. I think that, but I also get the vibe from him that he wants an actual like healthy competition and stuff that
he wants to have good matches. I think
he
wants to have good matches. And
exactly. And I think Drew McIntyre is obviously somebody who is definitely a worthy competitor. So
yeah, he's somebody that Orton can give a lot to.
Yeah.
McIntyre, by the way, I like him as the tweener right now. Orton hit him with an RKO, and then McIntyre cut a great promo on him. He goes, Randall, Keith, Orton. Then he threw away the microphone even though it was working. I don't know why he did that. But he goes, I should have Claymore kicked you. That one's on me. That's why they called the RKO out of nowhere, but it'll never happen again. Here's what will happen this Sunday. I'm going to pray that you and I end up in the Royal Rumble together, Orton, because I'm going to Claymore kick. The Claymore kick won't come out of nowhere. I'm going to kick your head off your shoulders and I am going to win and main event WrestleMania. And I was like, that's a money promo.
Good job,
That was
Andrew.
a money promo. That
Good
was a
job.
solid promo. Got me excited about Drew McIntyre. I'd love it.
Andrew
I would
did very well.
love it if it came down to Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble, and Brock Lesnar eliminates Drew McIntyre because Brock Lesnar's winning the Royal Rumble. But McIntyre's gonna be doing something with Lesnar at WrestleMania this year. You just like
feel it.
You can feel it. Although I did get a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach.
Okay.
When Paul Heyman was saying there's nobody worthy in the locker room or anywhere around the world that can face Brock Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania. And I'll be damned if my first thought was, oh my God, they're setting up Tyson Fury.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
I did.
I don't.
I'm not gonna lie. I did think that they were gonna set up that they're trying to start planting the seeds for like an outsider to come in, and that outsider very well could be Tyson Fury. I wish it was Nick Fury.
I have to change her.
And Andrew says, or it could be Kane. Oh God, after what we saw from Kane at in South Dakota, I think I'm good on seeing Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar in the ring. Not interested. There was nothing about it. Brock beat him so decisively, and it wasn't even like Kane came back in the post match. Kane was just hit with a chair, crushed, and that was the end of his ass.
Yeah.
There is no reason to watch him ever.
I'll be back.
Ever face.
Oops.
Never. Don't hit the baby with the microphone here.
No, that's not what I was doing. It fell.
Okay. Anyway, so I'll just keep going on here while Victoria goes to change the little one. We got Becky Lynch in the ring with Kairi Sane. Can you go change the baby so I can stop distracting me?
She's pulling at my hair.
God.
Ow.
So unprofessional.
Ow.
Oh, please. Such a drama act. Undertaker, Daniel. No, please, God, no. I hope not. Becky Lynch in the ring. She's not afraid of Asuka anymore because Asuka is ducking her, which is like, is she? She just sprayed green mist in her face last week. Doesn't really seem like she's ducking her. Becky Lynch and Kairi Sane. This is Kairi Sane's first televised match back. Kairi Sane did make her in-ring return over the weekend at WWE Live events. Teaming up with the Kabuki Warriors team to Sarah Logan in losing efforts against Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Natalya. So Kairi Sane at least did take a few bumps for getting on this show. This was a bad match. Becky Lynch and Kairi Sane, even in the best of times, they have zero chemistry together. They have zero chemistry. I've seen this match a couple times in the last few months. It just gets worse every time. And then you have Becky Lynch out there, a Raw Women's Champion who's supposed to be the face in the women's division, like getting no reaction at all. Yeah, by the end of it, after Asuka attacked her, Becky Lynch beat Kairi Sane with the disarmer, got the submission. Asuka immediately attacked her and left her laying. It was good. It was a good angle, probably made good just because Asuka's really good at what she does. By the end of it, the people were chanting Becky, Becky because Asuka beat her so convincingly that it was like, oh God, let's root for this person because Asuka makes everything look really crisp. She's one of the more talented wrestlers on the roster, man or woman. That's how good Asuka is. The match was just the match with Kairi Sane that was bad. Asuka sitting on the top rope made no sense. It's like, why is that allowed? Like, what if she sends her to the corner and knocks into Asuka? Wouldn't that be a DQ or something like that? Like, it just made no sense why that would be allowed. So that automatically suspends disbelief. They went on to have a bad match, clunky. Just spots were not crisp whatsoever. It just feels like the Becky Lynch run is on life support right now. I'm sure she's gonna have a good match with Asuka, and I'm sure she's gonna beat Asuka at the Royal Rumble. But man, they are limping into the finish line here. They have one more money match with Becky Lynch with the title, and that's going to be with Shayna Baszler, who I would pick to win the Royal Rumble. Oh no, over there. Oh no. Yeah, go ahead. I got Shayna Baszler win the Royal Rumble. I think it's gonna be, or at the very least, she'll be a major player in the Royal Rumble. Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler. That's the last frontier. That's the last thing that they can do to bleed money out of the Becky Lynch title run. And after that, that's it. Like once Becky Lynch loses the titles at WrestleMania, or if she loses whenever she loses these titles at WrestleMania, the month after, whatever it is, Becky Lynch needs to go on like a month or two break from television. I'm burnt out on Becky Lynch, and it's not unprecedented in today's television where people can kind of just like go in and out, which is kind of nice. Like they have that freedom to, just say like, I need to take a break. They'll take you off for a little bit, or they'll give you a diminished role, and you won't lose your spot. It's a different culture than it was back then. That's for the positive. But yeah, we need a break from Becky Lynch. We do. Let's see. Randy M says Shayna wouldn't be a bad choice. She's been really consistent, but we need our 4 Horsemen match soon. Yes, if it's not Shayna Baszler win the Royal Rumble, it very well could be Ronda Rousey, and maybe that would be the other money match. If it's not Shayna Baszler, it could be Ronda Rousey. We'll see. Yeah, Andrew Elder says I wish Charlotte would take a break. I know a lot of people feel that way. Yeah, so I'm just tired out on Becky Lynch, and I was really feeling the fatigue here tonight. I really, really was. This was a bad match. Nice video package for Rocky Johnson. I thought it was really, really cool to hear Jerry the King Lawler talk about Rocky and all the matches that they had in the 70s when Rocky was running wild in Memphis, and like that's one of the things. If you ever hear Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, talk about his childhood, it always winds up him talking about his experiences in Memphis. Watching his father, go against the King Jerry Lawler or whoever was down there. That's that a lot of what The Rock knows, he probably picked up in Memphis. Rock did some time in Memphis even when he was training and coming up, when Memphis was a territory for WWF. So really cool to hear Jerry Lawler talk about him. You could see the real emotion in his eyes, and Jerry Lawler, he's a tough dude. That's a guy who lost his kid and still showed up to work. To hear like emotion in his voice, like over the passing Rocky Johnson, it made it drove it home even more. It's like put a human aspect to it, because so much of Rocky Johnson's prime is before even the quote unquote golden era of wrestling. So a lot of people just know him as like, oh, he's The Rock's dad, but Rocky Johnson was like so much more than that. A perennial NWA world champion contender, faced Harley Race multiple times, was a great opponent for Harley Race, was a great opponent for Terry Funk. He was always in the mix, over everywhere he went. Just because he wasn't part of the golden era, he was still, like his achievements shouldn't be forgotten. Anyway, and if anybody knows about Rocky Johnson's Memphis runs, I would say Andrew Elder. I would say Andrew probably has even seen Rocky Johnson perform in Memphis. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew. But you just seems like you are. We have Dynasty 215 in the chat room as well. We got, I know we had somebody else, Lil Fettuccine 69 in the chat room. Anybody else I'm missing right now? No, but we had a couple people pop in. That's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so they did a great video package for him. Up next, we have the Raw Tag Team Championships are on the line. Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy with AOP versus the Viking Raiders with Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. Immediately, the bell rings. They take down Buddy Murphy. The Viking Raiders do. Erick scoop slams Ivar onto Buddy. Big brawl with AOP, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe. They get ejected from ringside. We come back. Viking Raiders are running wild on them. They made a great hot tag, actually, with a really, really good hot tag with Seth Rollins. Jeez.
What?
It's loud.
Shut up.
A great hot tag. It was Ivar and Seth Rollins, getting turned inside out on a shoulder block. Eventually, it winds up. Erick gets curb stomped on the apron by Seth Rollins. Buddy Murphy pins Erick. We have new Raw Tag Team Champions. I like this move a lot. Because we're establishing Rollins and Buddy Murphy and AOP as, oh, poor little thing. There you go. Now she has her little bottle. And just like that, magically, Victoria's back.
Hello.
Are you giving her medicine right now?
Yeah, I have to.
Oh, I would have done it after the show.
No, she has to have her bottle now. And
oh, yeah. She has to take her vitamin D and all that stuff.
Vitamin D?
Vitamin D.
And then amoxicillin.
Good stuff. Breakfast of champions right there. But I really like this Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy becoming champions. Again, this new dynasty or whatever you want to call it, the discipleship, the Messiah, it's in its infancy. And there, I saw a lot of people complaining about it tonight. Oh, this lessens the Raw tag team titles. They weren't anything to begin with. Anyway, it does, in my opinion, it never hurts. Even if they're not defending the titles all the time or whatever, if they just hold the titles, it adds value to it to have a guy the caliber of Seth Rollins holding the titles. And it does. And, even though they say it's just a prop, for the overall storyline, well, that's fine. The belts are props anyway. This is doing wonders for Buddy Murphy's career. Buddy Murphy, who 2 months ago wasn't even sniffing the 24/7 title, is now the Raw Tag Team Champion with a guy who beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and SummerSlam last year. That's a big improvement for his career. I don't think you'll find him complaining and saying oh, well, these are just bullshit titles.
I don't think. Listen, I'm not one to crap all over random tag teams. I feel it depends on the individuals. So I feel as if Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, I felt like that was very random. They just came out together and it was oh, okay, you're going for tag matches now. You know what I mean? But something like this where there was establishment last week that there's something evolving with Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins and everything else. To me, it's that's not a problem. It to me, when you go for title matches like that, it doesn't matter. Because to me, that's not as random as something like I said, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. It's where did that come from? They just literally came out one day together and oh, hey, we're a tag team. That was random. So I find, and sometimes.
Yeah, that was random. Yes.
Sometimes though the best for me, sometimes one of the best tag teams again are people who actually did not even start out together, but they just team up randomly.
Right.
So who cares? And again, people who say oh, the tag team titles, you're not bringing validity. You are, because this is somebody who was your champion, your WWE champion, and now he's he's a tag. Why wouldn't you want that for the title? So it's when John Cena was having the United States Championship. It's you want something like that, and maybe are people's arguments so too they want to see other people get opportunities,
right?
As opposed to
it's like you were saying with Seth and Braun Strowman when they had the tag titles in September.
Yeah,
it's all in who gets it after and how serious is it taken after. It's all in the follow up, really. When they get this kind of elevation. Are they going to get followed up and be made, primary titles again, or are they just going to be background things?
Right.
Of course, I call the belts props. Now everybody's oh, now Mike is Vince Russo. But if I got mad about it, then I would be a belt mark. I can't win here.
I was just to say, why is everyone up your butt tonight?
No, they're kidding. But, geez, I can't win tonight. It's I say one thing about AEW, now I'm Mike Cornette. Now I say one thing about the belts, I'm now Mike Russo. Jesus Christ. Can't win.
Leave Mike alone.
If I defend the titles, then I'm a belt mark. They are props, by the way. They are. All right. So again, really good move. It just starts to establish this Monday Night Messiah gimmick as like, you know,
legitimate,
a stable to be taken seriously. They have some gold, or in this case, red leather and silver, whatever the Raw tag team titles are. I don't even know what color that is. Do we have to talk about the Monday after weekend update segment? Mike Bischoff, screw you, Daniel. Oh my God. He always gets me. Always. Oh Michael McMahon, Quentin Walters. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus.
Wait, what's that?
By the way, Andrew Elder wants you.
Michael Carter.
Michael Carter.
Dixie Carter.
Oh Jesus! Shut the hell up. Oh my God. I'm gonna divorce you right on the air if you ever call me that again. How dare you? How dare you? Damn. Wow. So everybody wants after you take out Brian Alvarez, which everybody's still talking about.
Oh, my podcast on him.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Once you take him out, Andrew Elder wants you to work on Wade Keller next.
Okay, I'll do whatever. If you guys make requests, I'll do whatever. So just let me know. Like, you know what I should do? I should start a podcast because I get very passionate about these things. And it just be like a topic that everybody wants me to discuss and go on a tangent on for like 2 hours, and I'll do it. And when I get it on, like I said, I'm really passionate about this Brian Alvarez thing, so I'm gonna like do this.
It's gonna be scary. I'm Mike Lagana from Randy M. Well, yeah. So like I edit videos, and then I make a mistake, and then I fire the guy who I screwed over.
Wait, who is that? Okay, what's the one big ref that was like he really royally screwed up? That I can't remember which match it was, but he really, really screwed up a match.
Screwed up? Earl Hebner?
It was some
ref. What match? There's been a million matches.
No, but
it
was like life changing. No,
life-changing?
I don't know. There's something you were talking about. Anyways, wherever one of those refs.
Life changing.
Yeah, like it screwed up the match. It really screwed up the match.
It did, and it ruined.
Was it with Bret Hart? It was something with Bret Hart.
Montreal Screwjob, I guess you're talking about, right?
Was it?
I guess I can't think of anything else that's life changing.
Not life changing, but like for life changing for like wrestling.
Yeah, then it would be that. It would be
okay.
Earl Hebner.
Okay.
Who, I'll never forget. I've had a couple of interactions with Earl Hebner in my life.
Have you?
Yes, I have actually.
That's bizarre.
And when we went to All In,
okay,
we got back to the hotel. They were having the after party. I went to the after party for a little bit. Fucking Earl Hebner comes out of the conference room, trash out of his goddamn mind. And I was like, hey, baby Earl, how you doing, man? And he grabs my face like this, and he gives me a big hug. He's like, man, I'm fucking great. I'm like, wow, okay, cool, man, thanks, have a good one. I was like, Adam was like right there, and we were just like, what was that?
I think I won for the evening though by calling you Michael Carter.
Yeah, Michael Carter. No one else is getting me is good right there. No one. Billy Hefner, Tim White. Oh, Tim White had the career ender in the Hell in a Cell. I met Tim. Remember when we met Tim White? He was driving the Miz and Damian Sandow around to the autograph signing. So when we met Miz and Damian Sandow, or Mizdow, who is now what the hell's his name in NWA? Aaron something. Aaron Stevens.
I don't follow him, so
it doesn't matter. Anyway, Tim White was their chauffeur. For whatever reason, Tim White was driving them around. And I was like, dude, it's great to see you. I'm glad. Basically, I brought up the lunchtime suicide thing. And then he just went like this. He goes, remember that?
I do.
It's hilarious.
I was so focused on the Miz though, so I
know. And I was marking out over seeing Tim White.
Yeah,
that's pretty sad.
Miz liked my engagement ring.
Pretty sad. Goosey had another. He met Earl at a casino. He goes, I bought him a beer. He followed me the rest of the night, trying to get me to keep buying him beers. Baby Earl the Glommer. Good Lord, what a goober. Anyway, Erick Rowan versus Matt Hardy. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, do we have to do anything about the weekend after? Screw that.
Well, no, but what was death. It was. I don't think people got it, like the reboot thing. I didn't get it initially.
I mean, I saw what they were doing, but
I saw what they were doing.
Bad, so cringy.
But no, when they saw I get it when you explain it to me, but I don't think everyone picked up on it at the end.
Yeah, it was Miz and Morrison that they did 10 years ago.
So, but it was like they're too good for them to be doing that stupid stuff. So moving on.
Yeah, that's just death. Those segments are death. Matt Hardy versus Erick Rowan. Obviously, Matt Hardy is all over YouTube trying to create characters for himself, trying to keep moving forward and reinvent himself. WWE wants nothing to do with them. They just want him to just come out to the old Hardy Boys theme song and just do his thing. He's been grousing about it. He's been kind of dropping hints that, hey, my contract is up in March and I can't wait to get the hell out of here. Flew him all the way over to Wichita. And he does the job for Erick Rowan in a complete. They could have used the guy or they could have gone to the wrestling school that guy that Aleister Black killed came from.
Right.
They could have gotten another hand for that. They did not need to fly Matt Hardy up here for this. He did not need to be there.
Clearly punishment.
Like even McFoley. I mean, and granted, McFoley is more of a mark than a competent pro wrestler anymore. And we love McFoley, but he'll work himself into a tizzy too. But he said, there's something not right about seeing Matt Hardy in a one-sided squash match like that. It just doesn't fly. It just doesn't feel right.
No, it really and it kind of took away from what
I love the Erick Rowan thing.
Oh, I love the Erick Rowan thing, but because it was Matt Hardy, it was why? You almost couldn't believe it was happening. You know what I mean? And granted, it took him a little bit longer to get over than all these jobbers that have been randomly coming up. But still, there was no respect towards Matt Hardy at all. It's like they're blatant. That's the one thing with WWE. They don't wear it well at all. When they're mad, and they're gonna let you know it, and they're gonna let their audience know it. Well, this is clearly a punishment.
Well, Matt's wife, I gotta say, Rebby Hardy or whatever, Reby or Rebby or whatever, however you say her name, she does a lot to pour gasoline on fires. She's the one who called out WWE for he repaid his debt and you keep reminding him about it, this and that. When Matt and Jeff, the two wives are feuding, she blasted Jeff Hardy's wife on Twitter. It's so it's causing trouble with the two brothers. She's
a pot star. Yeah,
she's a shit stir.
Yeah,
to the nth degree.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but she has also a point. So it's
she has points, but social media is not the forum to carry out major things for your husband's career.
I totally agree with you 100%. I'm just saying in general.
I get being the wife that wants to defend and all that stuff, but yes, and I'm sure you would do the same thing.
No, but I wouldn't put it all over social media.
I also would not know better.
But you know what too? I would also never contact your job and well, I work at the same place as you do. Yeah. But I would never interfere with your job. Even if however mad I got at anybody or how frustrated you were, I would never go on your behalf and speak for you and interfere like that. That's not my place, and I find that first of all, you can handle it yourself, and if Matt Hardy's a big boy, he can handle it, you know what I mean? But obviously in this situation, I'm just saying WWE, not even just Matt Hardy, but when they're mad at you, they're obvious. Oh, yeah. This was totally no a big old
I mean, I think about the last time I saw him. I was in that. I believe the last time I saw him was in that gauntlet match, on the Raw before Christmas.
Okay.
And remember when he lost and he just walked out of the ring, just
he even
sold everything. He's
no sold.
I did my job. I'm out.
Yep, that's it.
He's done.
Probably
Matt's
flew
done.
there.
Jeff Steele
left right after.
Randy, I'm asking about Jeff Steele. Jeff Steele, because of the injuries and because of the legal issues, they froze his contract.
Oh, they did.
They froze his contract, so he's Jeff has more time than Matt does. Matt is stuck there or I'm sorry, Jeff is stuck there for a while longer. But Jeff obviously is the more marketable one. Jeff's the one that they always liked. Jeff's the one that, when he comes back, he'll probably get a little bit of a push. Because think about what they did with Jeff.
Yeah.
They while Matt was in a death tag team with Bray Wyatt, Jeff was like feuding with Randy Orton and having U.S. title runs and this and
that. Right.
And he was always like in there in the upper level, upper echelon feuds.
Right.
So and again, that's never changed. They've always felt that way about Jeff and not that way about Matt, no matter how hard Matt works at it. Finally, we are at the main event. Bobby Lashley and Lana versus Rusev and Liv Morgan. I will say this, the nicest thing I can say about this was it was quick and painless. It didn't go long. It didn't drag. Did a few things. Rusev lost again, so I don't know why I want to keep watching this loser that not only is he having to like constantly interact with his ex-wife and her new husband, but he has to now team with
her ex-lover
with her ex-lover that she was with while with Rusev. This guy and he never wins. This guy is a total cuck.
You know why I don't like this thing too? Just as you said it, because where's the payoff at all? Like, where is the payoff? It just makes him seem like why are you even bothering at this point? Like, it's like the fact that he and one can argue, oh well, it's because Lana's interfering, that's why he's not winning. But enough is enough now. It's like, why? When is he ever gonna get like? Why are we gonna elongate this feud? Like, it's over. Like it's let Rusev win and be done with it. Like I don't even know how, like, end it at this point.
What is the payoff?
Right. Where's the end game?
Enough?
Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't.
Yeah. What are they building towards? They were building towards mixed tag and
it was
3.5 minutes.
Right. So it's like, and again, people were like, oh, well, Lana's interfering. That's the only way. It's not making Rusev look weak. It's like, but it does. Like, because it's like, you're letting this whole, it looks stupid. Right. It really looks stupid.
Right. So that was Raw. Victoria, what would you give Monday Night Raw? I want to know what, oh, poor Bubba. I want to know what the chat gives Monday Night Raw as well. We'll look at what Twitter says after we give our ratings.
Oh, gosh. It's hard to say. I know I have to pick one, which is thumbs in the middle. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Even though I very much enjoyed the opening segment and Andrade and Rey Mysterio's match, but everything else kind of like bleh. So, thumbs down.
Wow.
I hate to say it. Well, wow. Because I actually, like, reflecting on everything, like, it didn't really like do a whole lot. Like, I just feel like there was things that happened, but there was just too much of things that I didn't enjoy. I guess for me, to give it a thumbs down.
Okay. See, like, for me, like, when you have a match as good as the ladder match on a show, I thought they made a good choice having Rollins and Buddy Murphy win the Raw Tag Team titles. I liked Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. The Brock Lesnar segment was okay until Ricochet. You know, I can't, but no matter what, I can't give a show that had a ladder match like that a thumbs down.
True.
So I got to give it a thumbs up. You already committed to thumbs down. What did everybody else say? Nafis gives it thumbs down. Randy M thumbs down. Thumbs down, downtown from Daniel Schell. This podcast gets 100% in 69. Quentin Walters, thumbs down. Goosey, thumbs so far down they just broke bouncing off the concrete. Daniel Schell, thumbs from way downtown. Billy Hefner is on my side, thank God. Slightly up. Slightly. Yeah, I'll give it a tepid thumbs up too. I'll give it a tepid. Andrew Elder, thumbs down. Okay, so I am outnumbered here.
Wait. Can somebody, if there were a thumbs in the middle, would somebody give it a thumbs in the middle?
Okay, if there was a thumbs in the middle, hypothetical thumbs in the middle, would you give it thumbs in the middle? Let's look at what Twitter says. 57% give it a thumbs down right now. 44% thumbs up. So thumbs down is winning right now. Stick around. We have a little bit of an announcement for a couple programming notes for us and a couple of life notes from us as well. Obviously, this is Post Raw number 68. So Daniel Schell, this is big for you. Post Raw 69 is next. The moment you've been waiting for.
I think we should have Daniel on our show.
I think we gotta have Daniel on the show at some point. I can wait till Raw 169. I'm kidding. No. We can figure something out.
We'll have Daniel on.
But it's, you would think it'd be next week, and I would love to do next week. Obviously, I would.
Especially for post Rumble, but
especially the post Royal Rumble Raw, which is always one of the bigger, one of the most watched Raws of the year, other than Raw after WrestleMania. Machine Walls gives it a slight thumbs down because of the main event. Ooh, okay. But we're not gonna be able to do it next week because little Liliana is having her surgery. Her spinal surgery is next week. So we're going to be we're probably not going to be back on the air until mid-February.
Yeah.
Best,
definitely.
I would say. I'm going to look at the calendar. I can probably give you the date we'll probably be back.
Because even if we got back, let's say the 10 days, I'm not up for doing a show when we get back immediately. So
No, yeah. At the very worst, she's going in for surgery on the 28th, and she's scheduled to be there 10 to 14 days. So she could either be back February 8th or she'll be back February
11th.
I think that's the longest that will have to be out there. So it's, it doesn't make any sense. So we'll probably be back. I would say we'll be back for the President's Day edition of Monday Night Raw.
Wow.
Which is February 17th. We might make it back for February 10th. We'll see. We'll see. If we get back that weekend or so, but we'll be back. I would say at the latest we'll be back is the February 17th one, which is also the very same weekend that we found out that we were pregnant with Liliana.
Yeah, so which is actually kind of funny.
It's pretty cool. We'll be a year removed from finding out about Liliana. So it's a very special weekend for us. It's a very special couple days. She's gonna be fine. She's gonna be just fine. This is all good that she's going there. That she's going in for surgery. She has the best neurosurgeon for children on the planet working on her, and the only reason that she's staying in the hospital for so long is just to make sure she doesn't get an infection. So we're just looking forward to getting this done with.
Yeah, we want it over with, honestly.
So, but I can say this, for everybody that contributed to the Christmas Spectacular, Craptacular, actually, the Christmas Craptacular, almost all of that money went to financing our trip down to Philadelphia and making it come. I'm only staying down for the week because I have to go to work, so I'm going to stay down for the week, make sure everything's good, and then after that, it's just basically Liliana's just sitting there, just making sure she doesn't get an infection. But Victoria's staying down the entire time. We obviously had to get lodging and all that stuff, and all of that money, all of your contributions, went towards that. And we still have some money left over for other things, food and all that stuff. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank everybody who contributed. It's already at work helping us and
when you have stuff like this going on in your life, obviously you're stressed out. I haven't slept past few nights, especially the closer we get to the time, it's rough.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I know it sounds, and again, it's like money doesn't solve problems, but this helps immensely where we're not having to think about the financial component with it. Like, we don't have to think about now, oh, I'm going to get groceries down there and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Like, that's covered now because of what all of you did and because of the love and support that everybody had behind it too. Like, like I said a couple weeks ago when I came back, like, I feel like a lot of our audience is family. So it's like you're really helping, like, our family, because you are family. And like, you know, and if anybody ever was in a situation like we were in, just know from the bottom of our hearts, we would do the same thing for you guys. You know, like if there's anything you guys ever needed, we would do everything we can and rally for your families and for you. So you're making the extra added stress a lot easier for both of us. And that's what we know. Obviously, we thank you so much for that.
Yes, we very much do. It's really a great thing that you've done for us, and we appreciate it. But like I said, she's gonna be just fine. We're gonna get through this, and we get to move on with our lives. So that's the thing I'm looking most forward to. So, on that note, we are going to sign off. You'll see me one more time. Victoria might even pop in on Wrestleview Live. You never know. You never know who will show up.
Yes.
You'll see me, but you will definitely see me one more time recapping the Royal Rumble with Mr. Doug Lackey, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Doug made a really good dinner tonight, by the way. I was just
oh my god, yeah, Doug made some
pork stuffed like Parmesan dish. It was really good. It looked really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Jeez, I gotta get to that guy's house and have a little meal there. But yes, so we have the best people that watch our show. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We went a little long, a little over an hour and a half.
So, really?
Yeah, we did. It's a pretty lengthy
I think because of our tangent that we had at the beginning.
It was probably the talk about how no one knows how to work anymore.
The art of wrestling.
It probably had something to do with that.
Sorry, everyone.
Sorry about that, but yes.
Sorry.
Sorry. So, yes. So anyway, so we'll wrap it up here. Do you want to bring in the baby so she can say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, she's trying to.
She's trying to sit up anyway.
Well, nah, she's trying to do more than that.
She's trying to kill Boppy one last time.
Look over here. Everyone's over here.
Hey, over here.
Hey,
Goofy.
Hey, honey, look over here. Princess.
Just no spatial awareness.
You know what?
No spatial. Just turn it around. There we go.
Hey, Mom.
All right. Can you say bye to everybody?
Can you say thank you to everyone?
Yeah, thank you.
Can you say thank you?
Say thank you.
Say you're helping Mommy and Daddy and me.
That's it. When we come back in a few weeks, Liliana, better than ever. Victoria versus Brian Alvarez, episode number 69. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to get back to it. It's gonna be awesome. So if you think about us next Tuesday, just say a little prayer for Liliana. If you're the praying kind, say a little prayer. If not, just think a nice thought for us.
Or we're yellow and black.
Because
that's what we're doing.
What we're doing. So thank you, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you when we get back.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.